Day 37. Wow, I think 37 days that I've been talking every day for a little bit. And in 2011, it was day 37 of being in the hospital with Eric about 12 to 16 hours every day. So when I think of the last 37 days of this journey, that's what I was doing. And I don't even like to visit people in the hospital for long. It just is hard. And yet I sat in a hospital 10, 12, 16 hours every day for 40 days. And the only answer I have, logic I have, is grace. His grace, God's grace, was upon me to allow me to be able to do that. And yet the grace was lifting as we got close to day 40, and we knew at that point that Eric would be able to go home if things were unfolding. And we had people like Susan Reinert Krug just ready to get a plane ticket scheduled, and people praying that we would go home. That was my code for being back in Watertown, Minnesota. For I felt like I had home in Hawaii, but I wanted to go home in Minnesota. And so here it is, day 37, and my mantra has always been, since Hawaii, pay it forward. I can't pay all of you back. People like Joan Sandquist, who organized meals, and all those of you who made meals for us those first weeks and month we were home. And Christine Lynch, she came and gave Eric massages, and she really did, I think, help remove the toxins that were in his body. Those were quite healing, and I think her and Eric had some good conversations as she gave him those deep muscle massages. And there's so many people that we don't know what you did. And so I just going to say we pay it forward. And so I had an idea, and I'm trusting that it was the Holy Spirit's idea to pay it forward to you with some book giveaway. So today is a book giveaway. And I thought about some of my favorite nonfiction, some of my favorite books that have helped me in my journeys of the storm journeys and faith struggle and questions and just hard stuff. And I thought, I'm going to just have a giveaway. So I have the books that came, and I'm going to show you each book and why I chose it. And to be in the drawing, which I hope you will, just be in the drawing. Even if you don't want a book, you can gift it to someone. Surely there's someone in your life who could benefit from one of the books. All you have to do to enter the drawing is to like this post. You don't have to comment if you're not into commenting. You don't have to love it. You can just hit the like button, and that way you're in the drawing. And I'm not going to draw right now. I'm going to draw after the 12 days of Christmas, because I know there's people watching this that said they're just taking time over Christmas to watch it, or just taking it slower to watch it, and I want them to be able to be in this drawing. And so they might not get to day 37 for a while. So the 12 days of Christmas start after Christmas. And so some people put their tree down the day after Christmas, but really Christmas goes 12 days to the Epiphany. So I'm going to do the drawing. I think it's going to be January 6th, first Monday. So that I will just kind of remind people that I'm doing that so that you can get in on the drawing. So the books, here, let me tell you what I bought for you. The Hiding Place. It's a great story by Corrie ten Boom, who was a Holocaust survivor. She was a Christian woman And her family hid Jews from the Nazis until they were discovered. And she was in the concentration camp, and her dad and her sister and her brother all were in there. And it's a story beyond tragic, but it's a story of Jesus in the most powerful way. And so if you want a true story of unimaginable horror, but yet unimaginable grace and mercy and love, Corrie is awesome. All right. The next book is Boundaries, and I've talked to you about that. When to say yes and how to say no, and no is a complete sentence, and how having boundaries is essential. We give our children boundaries because they feel safer with boundaries. They know what to expect. And we, giving ourselves boundaries, give ourselves respect and give other people respect and an understanding of who we are and when we say yes and why we say no, and just can't tell you how much this has helped me over the years. So book number 2. I have a couple books by Lisa TerKeurst. I really do admire her writing and her speaking, and Forgiving What You Can't Forget is the book. Discover how to move on, make peace with painful memories, and create a life that's beautiful again. So even though we can't forget what people have done or what has harmed us or what has hurt us, we can forgive. And forgiving is for us. It doesn't mean you have to have a relationship with the person you forgive. It just means you let them go. And you let what they did to you or what caused you harm go. And it no longer haunts you and causes you bitter anger, resentment. And that's for you. And so this is a good one to read. The next one is a book that really, it's just an old book. Hannah Whitall Smith. Long time dead. Love her. Can't wait to meet her someday. But The Christian's Secret of a Happy Life. The Christian's Secret of a Happy Life. She just puts it simply, the gospel and the message of what we need to do to get to heaven and what God does. And what we need to do is trust Jesus. That's what we need to do. And she explains it so beautifully. And she gives lots of real life explanations. And even though it's old, because she's been long gone and born, I think, she was born in 1832 and she died in 1911. And she made things that were hard easier to understand. So I enjoyed this book. Another book by Lisa TerKeurst, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. It's not supposed to be this way when we're facing injustice. What do you do when God's timing seems questionable, his lack of intervention hurtful, and his promises doubtful? Finding unexpected strength when disappointments leave you shattered. It's a good read. And this one I haven't read, but I love Susie Larson and I love everything I've read about her. She's on talk radio, faith radio, and I enjoy her podcast every day. But this is one of her older books, and it's just about taking a chance, dare to be uncommon, making an ordinary life extraordinary. You want to leave your mark. You want to do something. This is a good word. When the world is going, everyone's going down the big wide highway, and you feel like you're coming up the narrow highway, and trying to walk counter whatever from the way everyone's walking. You seem to be walking the other way. How do you manage that? And I don't know. It's just to be uncommon woman. And I think, and it's written for women, but I think it's also great for men. Her writing crosses those. This one I haven't fully read, but I've followed Katie Stifter. She's local from the area, Minnesota, and the funny thing about grief, and her husband was it's about the tragic death of her and sudden death of her beloved husband and best friend, and how she managed that with little children and expecting a baby, and her blogs I read, and I follow her on social media, and I just love what she says about grief. She just really is amazing, and she doesn't try to say she knows it all. I just think she is, I don't know, it's a great book if you are dealing with grief in any way, I would think. Just by what I've read of all of hers, I can't wait to read this book for myself. And the last one I haven't read either, The Sacrament of Happy. But I love everything I read about Lisa Harper. And she blogs and she speaks, and I have heard her, and I got the book, Simple Ways to Sow Happy, what a smiling God brings to a wounded world. I think we need more happy. And I think this is a book for all of us who are wanting to sow happy seeds. So that's the post today, is a giveaway. So get your like on, whether you like it or not. Then you'll be in the drawing. And if you leave a comment, you can leave a comment actually on which book you would think is interesting, or one that you would think that might be for someone that you're thinking of. Then if I do draw your name and that book's available, I'll make sure you get the book that you've asked for. I, of course, can't control if everybody picks one book, but I will distribute the books after the drawing as a way to pay it forward. See you tomorrow.